Are you a tits man or an ass man? Personally, I'd like Chase Elliott to stop running into people, but I'm an ass man.
This is the Big Motor Small Blade podcast, and it starts right now.
Right now! I'm Buddy Pulley. He's Seth Dolby. This is the Big Motor Small Blade podcast, like we said. Probably couldn't hear me because I didn't have my mic up. But this is the post-New Hampshire pod. Don't know what we're going to call it because we never do. But this race was good. I thoroughly enjoyed this race.
Yeah, this was solid. Not what I was expecting as far as considering we still haven't fixed anything. It turned out well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I think as long as I predict something, it's going to go the opposite way. Because I said last week that I wasn't optimistic about this race. I thought it was going to kind of be what we've seen at these flatter, shorter ovals like Richmond, Phoenix, Martinsville, where the diffuser has made not being able to work properly at the slower speeds has made the racing subpar, as well as all the shifting that they've done. But this was surprisingly a pleasant surprise that it was so good. I think the general consensus is that this was a fantastic race, and I think a lot of people had New Hampshire written off, but it's back.
Yeah, I mean, color me shocked that after Martinsville and Gateway, the two most similar tracks I would assume to this, that this was a fantastic race. It's good to see, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've made any adjustments or not. Probably
they
not.
Have not.
Yeah, nothing major at the bare minimum.
Yeah. They haven't tested yet.
Well, they did test at Martinsville a little bit, but
when? That wasn't until August.
No, they did a little bit in June.
Oh, really? I had no clue about that.
Kyle Busch was basically saying that they didn't improve anything, but they ran the dirt dirt undercarriage.
No, they're doing that in August.
They're doing it again in August.
Oh,
sure. Yeah,
I never heard about that.
I think they I think they only took like 4 cars or something. But
what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did I not hear about this?
I only heard about it after the fact, so it wasn't widely publicized.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think that actually happened. Anyway,
maybe it's all made up just for another spicy Kyle Busch quote.
Kaiser Soze, did that happen? No one knows. So big news throughout the week. Obviously, the biggest silly season news in probably years. Ty Dillon is out of the car at Petty GMS. Yeah, so unfortunate. They decided to part ways. They haven't had a fantastic season. Honestly, I think a lot of people were puzzled as to why Ty was tapped to drive the car.
That makes y'all. I thought Ty was going to be the next Jeff Gordon, to be completely honest.
Well, let's talk about the actual next Jeff Gordon. Clearly, we're being facetious. Tyler Reddick announces that he's going to 2311 Racing for 2024. Obviously, huge news. Big boy moves by our boy Red Dog. And RCR put out a press release basically saying that it was the worst possible timing for them.
I don't know how.
Well, I think the word it being that is they're trying to make a playoff run with Reddick right now. They just won a race. They had made it pretty clear that Reddick was going to be their franchise driver, and now it's almost like they got their legs kicked out from under them.
I guess I just don't understand. I can't imagine that they legitimately thought that they were going to hold on to Tyler Reddick for any longer than the optional contract.
I don't think they did. But I think they thought that maybe there was a possibility if he kept winning races like he did. I mean, obviously they just won. So Richard probably thought everything was happy and sunshines. But I think a lot of it has to do with it being so far in advance. I mean, they haven't even gotten to the playoffs this year. They just made the playoffs. And Tyler Reddick with the way if he could put together good races, he could make a run at this title. And now it's from now to the end of next year. It's a lame duck, situation over at
I mean,
RCR. So
it is lame duck, but you still have a whole year and a half, to find another driver, which you've got plenty, your RCR.
yeah,
And two, you still have all that time to work with him and try and win 2 championships. So it's not,
yeah,
I don't know. If they hadn't gotten the option figured out or whatever, and he just out of nowhere announced without telling anybody he was going to 2311 next year, I
yeah,
think that would be different. But it's like, hey, 2024, that's where I'm going.
yeah. I think honestly, I think Richard was a little bit hurt. Just that maybe he did think he could hang on to him, but at least he thought maybe didn't think the timing was fantastic. I guess with
Yeah.
the situation they're in, but ultimately, I mean, it's one of those things you can't keep a secret in the sport. And I think that was Denny Hamlin's point when they made the announcement. Fantastic way to announce it. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Reddick just pops into a Zoom call and they're like, Tyler, you're in the wrong call. And he's like, well, actually, I'm here to announce that Tyler Reddick's going to be my driver in 2024. And everybody's like, whoa!
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can't keep a secret in the sport, like I said. And I think they didn't want it to get out, and so they went ahead and announced it. I get it. Aside from the way hurt feelings and announcements, this is a big move for Reddick, and it's a big move for 2311 because I think we all know he's the second coming of Kyle Larson. They feel the same. I think we all feel the same way about Tyler that we have about Kyle, that he is give him the right equipment and he's going to be a superstar in the sport. And Denny feels that he can. It's yet to be determined whether it's going to be a third car or it's going to be he's going to replace Kurt's car or Bubba's car. They did say that Kurt's welcome there as long as he wants to be there. So it'll be interesting. I can't imagine they're going to get rid of Bubba. I mean, there's really no reason to.
I mean, this fits the timeline for them open up a third car as well.
Yeah, it does. And Denny said it makes more sense to run 3 than it does 2 with this car. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Obviously, huge move for Reddick. I mean, and it's good because he deserves to be in top tier equipment. Whether 2311's top tier right now, that's to be determined. I saw some people saying that this was more of a lateral move. I don't think so. I think this is I think definitely a step up for Tyler.
In a year and a half, it'll probably be 2 steps up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't imagine 2311, if they're not a top tier organization, definitely going to be leaps and bounds ahead of RCR. I mean, who's RCR going to have? Austin Dillon and what, Ty Dillon? Probably not. But
probably not Ty Dillon.
No,
probably.
But like Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, I mean, they're not exactly setting the world on fire. They're not Tyler Reddick. That's the point. So good for Reddick, man. I'm happy for him. He deserves it, and it's going to be. We are going to get Kyle Larson v. Tyler Reddick for the next however many years, and I'm just happy to be here for it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, Kyle better pick it up. But a different Kyle. You think RCR might try and take a stab at Kyle Busch?
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I don't think. No, well, no, they can't because Kyle's going to be out next year if they do, unless they want to kick Reddick to the curb early.
They could.
Yeah, honestly, they could. Oh God, that's
been a lot of the speculation I've been seeing. It's like, hey, are they going to like?
I don't think they will.
I doubt
Harvick did the same thing. Harvick announced he was going to Stewart Haas, in 2012.
Yeah, I mean, all this is super. It's speculation for the sake of speculation.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you had an opportunity to pick up a guy like Kyle Busch, even if it was just for a year,
it'd be huge. I don't think Kyle Busch would do it.
No.
I don't think he
Kyle's either staying at JGR or he's going to Stewart Haas, and Ford's ponying up a bunch of money.
Which Dude, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch on the same team. Oh my
I
god.
love the idea of it. I want it to happen.
Uh, I would actually like one of Kevin's teammates if that happened. Um, but yeah, I mean, it it's exciting. This news for me at least it's an exciting time to be a NASCAR fan because we knew this is literally the exact situation that Kyle Larson was in. He was in a car wasn't that didn't match his capabilities, and he brought that car to another level, and now he's going to a car that is on his level, and it's going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be exciting for the sport. And Tyler's just a likable guy too, so that makes it even better. Obviously, we touched on Ty Dillon being out of Petty GMS. They decided to part ways. A lot of speculation on who's going to get that car. I'm hearing Noah Gragson. A lot of Noah Gragson. Kind of makes sense. Honestly, Noah's made some questionable moves as far as, and he's got some work to do as far as maturity. But I honestly think Eric Jones has done okay in that car. But I honestly think maybe Noah could get a better ride than Petty GMS. I mean,
this coming year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he would go, but I almost feel like he has the capabilities of doing.
I feel like if Noah goes to Petty GMS, it'll be kind of like an Eric Jones in the '77 at Furniture Row kind of thing.
Yeah, or it could be, or I mean, the obvious answer is it could be an Eric Jones like Eric Jones is doing right now, where he's definitely brought that team up, at least the 43 team. Yeah. So, I could see Noah doing that. But yeah, that's silly season for that. Noah Gragson made some waves in the Xfinity Series race. Him and Daniel Hemrick got into it. Obviously, they have history before. Noah took a swing at Daniel at Atlanta and totally missed. And then Daniel took a swing at him at New Hampshire and totally got him. But it kind of, a lot of people were saying it was a callback to Road America. Daniel was obviously involved in that wreck. Justin Allgaier won the race. Big shocker there. Said no one ever. This is what, third, fourth win of the year, something like that.
I think it's his third, but it's like his
third in the
top 5 in the last 8 races or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So Allgaier making a run at the title. He's a staple of the Xfinity Series. I think JRM is on an absolute killer roll right now. I mean, if he wasn't going to win that race,
it had been since about April or May, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't going to win that race, it was probably going to be Josh Berry. I think Sheldon Creed. Big middle finger guy, that Sheldon Creed. Noah Gragson, Landon Castle got disqualified. One car was too low, one car was too high. I don't remember which one was which.
One was low in the front and one was low in the rear. That's what it was.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, first time since 1960 or 70 or something that 2 cars have gotten DQ'd in a race.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it for Landon, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd rather DQ from second than DQ out of the win.
I've gone over my my conspiracy theory. I don't think anybody's going to DQ out of the win now. I know we did it that one time in the Xfinity Series, but that was Denny Hamlin.
We did it.
So
once in trucks too.
Oh yeah, Ross, right?
Yeah, it was Ross and Moffitt got the win. Yeah, I think it's Cup. I don't think we're ever going to see a Cup. I could see it happening in Xfinity again.
Yeah.
Getting into the Cup race, like we said. Good race. I enjoyed this race. Seth, did you enjoy this race?
This was an A race. If I'm the Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola guy on YouTube, go check him out. Great YouTuber. I'm giving this the thumbs up.
Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah. It kind of had everything. If you're a fan of green flag racing, you might not have been a fan of this race, but if you're a fan of strategy and just overall just solid, clean race. Yeah, it was a good race.
I
Well,
mean,
clean might not be the word, but
no,
you know what I
clean.
meant by
Clean's
that.
probably not the word, but
um,
it was. I mean, it wasn't like it was green flag, but outside of Truex, for the most part, yeah, everybody was battling
yeah,
for pretty
yeah,
much every
everybody
spot.
was. And here's the thing, and we'll kind of just go ahead and get into this. Martin Truex obviously dominated a lot of the early portion of this race. It's something I've noticed with the 19 team, especially. Like we've joked about it forever that when Martin Truex wins, he absolutely dominates. But we've seen several times where he's dominated a race and they make a mistake or make a wrong pit call, and he's nowhere to be found for the rest of the race. And that's exactly what happened
I
here.
mean, that's pretty common because they're adjusting to the conditions they have,
Yeah, yeah.
which is favorable, and then you end up back in the pack a little bit. And I mean, we've seen that for years in racing.
Yeah, but I feel like we see it more with Martin Truex. They definitely set a car up to dominate, and when they have to adjust, they are more times than not able to make those adjustments that will get them to the front.
Yeah, I think that's something they've been missing ever since Cole left.
Yeah,
Really, like
mm-hmm.
James is a solid crew chief as far as initial setup, but chasing it after everything doesn't go perfectly has never quite been his strong suit.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to think if they've even had a win where they dominated, fell back, and then got back up there. I can't.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I can't recall.
Yeah,
I can't recall.
I can think of like Martinsville last year. They like weren't the dominant car for the most of it.
It doesn't matter. I
But
mean,
anyway,
yeah,
trying to
the
get
600. I mean, that was the last year Cole was there. That was they blew a tire and then came back and won that race. But yeah, you definitely make a good point with James Small. There definitely is something missing there ever since he got on top of the box that kind of has hindered that team's ability to go out and just be lights out and dominate races. We'll get into their kind of pit call a little bit later. Christopher Bell obviously won the race. Another new winner. That's 14 now. We'll talk about the playoffs here in a little bit. This shouldn't have come as a surprise to anyone. He's won every Xfinity race he's ever entered at New Hampshire, and he
damn near
won
won
a
the truck
truck
race
race.
last year.
Almost won the Cup race last year.
Yeah.
I literally was saying his name when I was giving my pick last week and changed it. So kudos to me for botching that. But he didn't dominate. He kind of came from behind after Chase Elliott made some waves with the field. I guess we'll go ahead and get into that. That'll be my segue into that. Go ahead, say your piece, and then I'll go on my rant.
My piece about what, Bell or
Chase Elliott.
I have said all my piece on Chase Elliott. My point is that Chase Elliott should be renamed to Ross Chastain Sr.
Ross Chastain Light.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Ross is latte, or no, Chase is latte. Ross is diesel.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously what we're referring to, Chase Elliott, he was leading the race late in the going after the 19 and the 4. Kind of made a bad pit call. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But as he's passing as he's passing Joey Logano for I think second, just drives into the side of Joey. Okay, you could have done a Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity race and just misjudged, got into the car. But then he does it again with Kurt Busch and gets into him off 4, and then just runs Kurt up the hill in the next corner. And there was a lot of talk on Twitter and all social media, just kind of like there's a double standard when it comes to Chase Elliott that's becoming more and more blatant. Is that when he does it, it's okay, but when someone else does it, it's not.
Yeah.
More referring to Ross Chastain, but I mean, really anyone. Go ahead and take that, Seth. No.
Yeah, I mean, they had just got Jeff Burton, and generally I like Jeff Burton, but Jeff had just gotten done maybe not just, but gotten done lambasting Ross Chastain for the same move, and then immediately um like praised Chase Elliott for the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like, oh, that's just the way Chase races. I'm like, Jeff, that's the way
yeah,
Ross races too, and you just had had an aneurysm about it. I don't get
yeah,
it.
yeah. And here's the thing: someone said it on Twitter, and I believe it was a quote from a driver. He didn't say what driver. I don't know why. Um, that says that's just how he races, all the way up through the field, and that's why nobody likes racing him. Someone said it last week. They're like, Chase Elliott is the Joey Logano for everyone else.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a double standard because I mean, you've been saying it for years, and I've kind of taken notice to it as well. That Chase, it's not. It's like I mean, the perfect way to describe it is Ross Chastain light. Like I said,
Yeah.
because I mean he pulls some of the same moves. He doesn't do as much going out and wrecking people, but there's definitely been multiple occasions where he's just run into people.
Yeah.
And there's no real logical reason why. Today, I mean, he had the fastest car. Those guys, two guys in front of him, Kurt and Logano, both had to pit for gas. So it's like he was going to inherit the lead at some point.
Yeah.
And I mean, risk screwing up his own car, just running into people. I mean,
well,
I don't.
and it's like the guys you did it to. You risk pissing off Joey Logano. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Joey had nothing to lose. He could have just sent him.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't. It doesn't make any sense, and it's pretty bad when it comes from a guy who accused Kevin Harvick of doing the same thing, and that was his whole reasoning behind what he did at Bristol last year. But yet, you go back and look at the race, you can't find any evidence of Harvick running into the side of Chase and cutting his tire down. There's literally no evidence. Or running into him, period. Yeah, Darlington. Sorry.
Yeah.
And now you have this where he does the exact thing that he just blew up about at Darlington last year. Obviously, there's a little bit of bias here. Look at the hat I'm wearing. But it pisses me off, and I think it pisses a lot of people off that we get on Ross so much, but yet a lot of people let this slide with Chase Elliott. And not that we should let it slide with Ross, but we should give Chase as much of this as we give Ross. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and it's not like this is a new phenomenon with Chase Elliott either. It's like people are just kind of starting to notice, I feel like, but it's not new. He's been driving like I would use the word entitled for a while now.
Yeah. No,
that's how it feels.
Really, ever since Denny wrecked him at Martinsville,
yeah.
Chase has been, and it's almost a Joey Logano effect, where Joey got pushed around and Joey finally said, "I've had enough," and started racing like this. And Joey's calmed down in the past couple of years, and I would imagine maybe Chase will do the same. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people. I saw some people calling back to the Denny Hamlin issue where he got into him at Phoenix and Denny cut a tire down, wrecked, and they were like, "Yeah, we saw this all coming." Then I feel like that was fair game. I feel like that was very calculated and I felt like that was a very fair move on Chase Elliott's part. I felt like that was not even close to what Denny did to him. That was fine. But ever since then, yeah, we've seen these situations that Chase gets in where he just, like you said, races entitled, and then he's not getting any pushback from it, from the fans, from the media, because of the legions of fans and the absolute popularity that he has. He gets justified for everything he does.
The media, especially. Like the media should have been the first to call out that Harvick didn't do anything to him at Bristol.
Yeah.
That would have been the first thing. Maybe if Chase had a bunch of people in the media on his dick about it, then it's entirely possible that he would have been like, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and
I don't know
they don't even
Chase,
have to
but
be on his dick about it, but just that's a funny phrase. Anyway,
I don't know why I said it like that.
yeah, but I mean, just there's no criticism given. Like, I mean, last week they when the block on Corey LaJoy, that was a borderline block.
Yeah.
Like, it could go either way. You could call it what you call it. But everybody in the media, everybody was like, "Oh, that was a good block. You got to do what you got to do to win." If that had been Logano, if that had been Chastain, there would have been
Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I mean anyone. Well, yeah. So I think that's the thing. We're not asking like the media to like just shit on Chase Elliott or like anyone. We're not asking anyone to shit on Chase Elliott. Just treat him like you treat every other driver. You know.
Hold him accountable.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're the only people who are really in a position to hold drivers accountable for what they do when it's not right. Because, Twitter, like whatever, you can justify anything as being just Twitter mob hate or whatever.
I feel like sorry, go ahead.
You can justify basically anything as being like Twitter mob hate. But if you have actual people who are in the business going up and saying, hey, you need to stop. That's not right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of drivers and other like teams, I feel like they're almost afraid to speak out about it because of just the sheer popularity and sheer like flack they're gonna get if they try to call out Chase Elliott.
Yeah, it's like so. We've seen a lot of the drivers, especially call out Ross Chastain this year.
Yeah,
it's telling though. The drivers most of the time will not call Chase Elliott out, at least on TV or whatever. But the amount of guys he's gotten into it with is pretty high. Yeah. So that usually is a sign. And a lot of times they'll talk about it on the radio too. So I'd like to hammer the point home that Chase is not that different from Ross. So Chase Elliott fans need to stop acting like Ross Chastain is the worst. I think
he's a little bit different from Ross, but yeah, I'd compare him to more of a Joey Logano. But I mean, he's going to get his. I would imagine one day someone's going to get fed up with it. But yeah,
I hope to God I'm there when that happens.
Oh my God, that's going to be. I don't know if I'd want to be there. That would be.
Hopefully it's after Kevin retires and you're not wearing Kevin Harvick gear.
Yeah, or maybe, hopefully it's Kevin that does it.
I'll be heading down to your seat.
Anyway, next topic here. The 23 and 20 pit crew swap / rearranging of crew members / draft picks, if you will. It worked. Both Christopher Bell obviously won the race. Bubba Wallace got a top 5. He finished 3rd. Strategy worked in their favor and also good pit stops. I think we all questioned it when they did the swap, and we call it a swap, but really they moved around people. But for the most part, it was switching crews.
Well, especially when the very week after Bell has a loose wheel.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people were critical of that just because Bell was in a position to, make the playoffs on points. And it seemed like they were kind of jipping him out of that. But they made all of us look like idiots.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good because I was starting to think that, like, Gibbs was seriously trying to,
There were a lot of people, felt like Bell was getting shafted.
Well, it felt like Bell was getting shafted. It felt like from the beginning, Hamlin and Jordan were getting shafted. So it's good. It's really good to see that this worked, and hopefully it continues to work. And I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm so sick of hearing about loose wheel penalties. I'll put it that way. The sooner we get past all this, the better.
Yeah, and Bell's crew chief, he didn't. Was it his crew chief Radcliffe? Yeah, it's Radcliffe.
Is
right?
it okay?
I think.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
I
remember.
don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't remember. Um, that's pretty bad. We probably need to figure that out. But I forgot where I was even going with that. Oh yeah, his
Adam Stevens.
crew chief. Oh yeah, it is Stevens. Duh, I knew that.
I was like, they showed him yesterday. Why don't I
Yeah,
remember
I know.
this?
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, I don't think it was Radcliffe. Oh, Radcliffe's the damn Xfinity spotter. I'm stupid. Um, he's
Spotter?
or crew chief. You know what I mean?
I
Shut
don't
up.
know. I don't know anymore.
Oh yeah, true, fair.
Making sure I wasn't
Um,
stupid.
yeah. Uh, anyway, yeah, Adam Stevens. He didn't have to sit out for 4 weeks too. I think that played a role in that because they made a pit call that might not have been made, and
Well, they
that won
probably
him the
would have.
race.
New Hampshire being such a good track for Christopher, I bet they would have pulled the RFK strategy of appealing the penalty just so they could have him for one more week.
I mean, yeah, it's true. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it was Stevens' call that won him the race because the 19 and the 4 take 2 tires there for it was really Truex was the class of the field. Harvick was up there. I forget really who else was up there. It was mainly those two kind of established themselves as the class of the field. Harvick was running down Truex there at the end of the second stage and beginning of third stage. He had a good long run car. Martin had the dominant car, led 100 and something laps. But they made a 2 tire call. Bell and Chase Elliott made a 4 tire call. 4 tires won. Obviously, they prevailed. Bell and Elliott battled it out for the win, and it was that call that now gets Bell into the playoffs. And it's that call that may have just costed Kevin Harvick a chance at the playoffs and possibly Martin Truex.
Yeah, I was about to say it could definitely cost Martin Truex.
We have 14 winners.
Yep.
Now, 14 winners, and we have 6 races to go. And it's not just any 6 races. It's the Indianapolis road course. It's Michigan, which could be a hybrid plate race, allegedly. It's Watkins Glen.
Pocono.
It's Pocono, which always opens up strategy. And what else? Richmond. I think that's probably the only real wild card in there. And then, of course, we're going to Daytona. It is very real that we could have 17 winners. At the very least, 16. I mean, and you look at it, here's another argument. Not even that they're wild card races. Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace, Martin Truex all finished in the top 5 yesterday. None of them have wins this year.
Yeah.
The 4 out of the top 5, Bell won the race. That was his first one of the year. Chase Elliott has, what, 3?
3.
Everyone else had no wins in the top 5. And to win races, you have to run in the top 5. Bubba Wallace has run in the top 5 several races this year. I believe now that they got the pit crew situation supposedly fixed, that they can run in the top 5 more consistently and have more chances to win. Martin Truex has been stronger the past couple weeks. Kevin Harvick has been good at these particular type of racetracks. Richmond's coming up. He finished second there in the spring. Road courses, Kevin Harvick's been solid there. Martin Truex has always been solid on road courses. Bubba Wallace is the best plate racer in the sport right now. I mean, Ryan Blaney hasn't won. He won Michigan last year. He won Daytona last year. Michael McDowell's a hell of a road racer. It is Pandora's box has been open, and it was you really got to question that call that was made by Truex and Harvick because this is the first time in years that tires at New Hampshire have mattered.
Yeah,
like normally you could pull a 2-tire strategy. Harvick won on a 2-tire strategy in 2019 with Denny Hamlin. He won with a 6th place car, 2 tires, and he still held off Denny and won. Granted, their aero was shit back then, but still, he won the race. Yeah. But all weekend long, tires had meant something. I don't know how you're in that position. Rodney Childers tweeted out today that he's still sick to his stomach about it because those two, if they miss the playoffs, especially Harvick, because he's 68 points out right now, you're gonna look back on this race and wonder what could have been.
Yeah, Oh yeah, and it's even more inexcusable because we saw on an earlier yellow, most of the field came in and just topped up, didn't take tires,
Exactly.
and Elliott, because they left a wheel loose, had to come in and ended up with 4 fresh tires, and he went straight through the field.
Bomb through the field.
Yeah, so there's no excuse, and there was basically 100 laps to go. It was like 95 laps to go.
Yeah.
The move is inexplicable. It's
Yeah.
not as inexplicable as the 5 team taking no tires, but it's still terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't make any sense because you saw it at the end of the race. Well, you didn't see it, but you could watch it at the end of the race. Those two were fourth and fifth, going back and forth. It would have been a hell of a race for the win between those two, and it very well is going to be the difference between them making the playoffs and not.
Yeah.
Because Harvick wins that race, Truex is out, right? No, Bell's out.
No, Bell would have been out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Truex would have been
Truex
right
would
on the bubble.
Yeah. Truex wins the race. Bell is out. I mean, it was a season altering call for those two teams.
Yeah.
If they aren't able to pull a win out, and we're here. Blaney's second in points in the regular points.
Yeah.
Truex is fourth. Harvick is what, 10th, 9th, somewhere around there?
9th. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's Kevin Harvick. Second and fourth in points could miss the playoffs. They are 1 win away from they're 2 wins away from missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick has to win. Kevin Harvick has to win if he wants to make this playoffs. He's not going to make up those points.
Well, I mean, they all, like, obviously Harvick because he's mathematically out, but all 3 of those guys need to be thinking we need to win.
They do
right now, and maybe even 2, because you say Blaney.
No, they don't need to. They don't need to win 2.
Well, maybe not. So
no, because
Truex and Harvick. If Harvick probably needs.
No, because if they win, they jump ahead of Cindric and Bowman and the guys at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, that's true.
With 1 win, so no, they definitely they need
guys
to win.
Guys like that need to be like, hey, we need to win again.
Yeah, I think they're banking on hopefully not getting 16 winners.
They can bank on it all they want. Yeah. I don't think guys like Cindric and Bowman are really capable of it right now. They haven't shown me anything.
Yeah. I think they are going to be more reactionary to however things go. Whereas Truex and Blaney, especially those two, they almost have the cards in their hand because they have a pretty good points gap over Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
And it's not like Harvick's knocking on the door of wins. He's getting closer, but he's not any closer than those two have been. So I feel like the ball is in their court. They can start going for wins, and they need to be going for wins because too much has happened. This season has been unpredictable. We've said it all year long that you don't know who's going to win these races.
Yeah.
You just don't. And I honestly, I would be surprised if we don't have 16 winners. I wouldn't be surprised if we had 17. It would be certainly, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would.
Essentially
it's
nothing.
Unlikely, I'll say.
Essentially nothing would surprise me at this point. It wouldn't surprise me if all the new winners completely stopped. It wouldn't surprise me if every race from now until the start of the playoffs we had a new winner.
Yeah, it's batshit right now. It is insane. I mean, Christopher Bell winning wasn't a shock. We established that, but would it be a shock if Kevin Harvick won? Would it be a shock if Martin Truex won? Ryan Blaney, blah blah blah. I'm saying
after yesterday,
there's too many people that can win right now. We said this at the beginning of the year that this could possibly be a possibility, just because this car it was supposedly going to be the great equalizer, and it has been. Yeah. It's put it in the driver. Eric Jones, that's another guy that they could Daytona. Play some. Yeah, especially Daytona. I mean, there's so many guys that could do it, and it's fun to be it's fun to be a race fan because this is fun to
Yeah,
watch.
this is a crazy. I mean, I don't think we should be
These
that.
playoffs, I think I'm going to say it right now, these are going to be some of the most unpredictable playoffs we've seen.
I mean, I don't. There's no reason to think otherwise at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think this should be that much of a surprise. Last year, coming into the playoffs, we had 14 different winners. One was
Yeah.
AJ Allmendinger, but still, we had 14 winners last year coming in, and that
Yeah.
was before Hamlin won.
The
So it's and Bubba. So we ended up with 16 last year total. So I don't think this should be that big of a surprise, really.
No, but I think no, it's not that big of a surprise. But I think what it makes it more, I guess, glaring this year is the fact that we've only had one guy with 3 wins, only a couple other guys with 2, and then everyone else has 1. We didn't have Kyle Larson, who had 45 wins last year. How many he had?
Yeah. I think Kyle kind of masked that from
he definitely
everybody.
did.
Yeah.
Because I think, and also it was there was a class of the field. There were a couple random winners that you kind of knew, okay, they won because of McDowell drove through Keselowski and Logano won the 500. I forget any other crazy winner that happened. I mean, Bell was on a road course. It was situational. There were a couple guys where you could look at them and be like, okay, these guys aren't really going to be contenders when we get into the playoffs. Dude, I have no clue. I have no clue. Like, I mean, this is going to be, there's no one has set themselves apart from everybody else. I mean, Kyle Busch spun out twice in this race.
And still finished top 10, didn't he?
And still finished top 10. Yeah. Exactly. Anything can happen. I was thinking about it today. There's 12 guys that I feel like can make the round of 8. I feel like the round of 8 we kind of have where, okay, these guys are probably going to make it. I feel like there's 12 to 15, maybe even 15 guys that I'm like, you get a couple good races, you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And that is crazy. And the points are going to be so tight going in. But we could see a playoff without Kevin Harvick. I'm going to get a little bit on my soapbox. We hear all the time about Jeff Gordon, how he should have won 7 championships and the playoffs screwed him over. No one has been more affected by the NASCAR playoffs than Kevin Harvick. No one has. I'm sorry. The man, Jeff Gordon should have 3 more championships than he has. The same can be said for Kevin Harvick. He won if you're going by Winston Cup points, 2010, 2015, 2016, 2020, he would be the champion. He was gypped out of a chance to run for a title in 2020. I don't want to hear no shit about he didn't perform. NASCAR let him run in the rain at Texas, and just there's that. There's 2018. He was penalized at Vegas for something that everyone else in the whole field was doing. There was all sorts of circumstances has prevented him from running for titles or just being there. And he's about to miss the playoffs because he's put together a solid year and he's about to miss. Not saying it's bullshit or not saying, whatever, but it's just it's something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough about is that
I think it's unfortunate that
yeah, it is.
Well, it's unfortunate that it's starting to look like Kevin is entering the cool down portion of his career.
For sure.
And it's really unfortunate cuz I mean like even last year if they had their if they hadn't had their advantage wiped and they found something else or whatever, he would have won 5-6 races last year, probably 2, I bet. And it's like, it's all of a sudden it's basically this year you can tell like he's missing a little bit of something driver wise, I think. Maybe it's not like overly dramatic, but
I don't know. It's hard to say about Kevin.
And
Because it's like
I'm not
sometimes.
knocking him, obviously.
No. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I think that too, and then sometimes I see where he takes a car that should finish 12th and he finishes 8th with it. And there's so many of those races, and that's what Kevin Harvick does best. But it's a guy who he's got a championship in the sport, but it's a guy that should have and has so much more potential, and he's so much he's at a higher level than a single championship guy that most people are probably going to look at him as. And obviously there's some bias there, but I feel like that's something that doesn't get talked about enough is the the disadvantage, maybe not disadvantage, but the hole that the playoffs have put him in. Maybe not even the hole, but just the effect that the playoffs have put on him.
Yeah.
And
the other, I think the way that you can put Kevin being affected by the playoffs ahead of Jeff Gordon is that despite all that with Jeff Gordon, the numbers on the outside still look top 5 all time. You have to go into the nitty gritty with Kevin Harvick's numbers. But then once you do, you realize he's like top 8 or 10 all time.
Yeah.
Like every category.
Every category. Yeah. It literally other than championships. And you can make an argument. He's been in the Final Four plenty of times. You can make an argument as far as execution. But as far as like putting together full seasons and just being an overall just solid, consistent, top-tier driver.
At times,
very,
best.
very few can match what Kevin Harvick's done.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. That's
in a lot of ways, Kevin Harvick is very comparable to Jimmy Johnson. And there's just that in a lot of ways.
I mean, all right, I'm listening.
in most statistical ways. And like I said, that's getting into the nitty gritty of the statistics and kind of reading between the lines being NASCAR's playoffs, essentially. Kevin Harvick is the same caliber driver.
I mean, hell, I mean, you can argue we all know they race differently with the playoffs as far as a full season goes. But I mean, if you just look at who wins the Cup format, who wins the championship, Harvick has more championships than Jimmy Johnson. I mean, Harvick stands alone as a four.
If that's the case, Harvick stands alone as the best driver of the 2010s. The 2010s for sure. The 2000s.
No, not the 2000s.
Maybe.
No, I mean,
because in the 2000s entirety, that would leave him as tied with the most titles.
Well, no, he didn't win any titles in the. If we're going by that, he didn't win any
2000 to now.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. 2000 to now, ever since the turn of the century, that would put him tied with Gordon because Gordon would have had 4 titles. Harvick would have 4 titles in this century, and
in this, yeah,
in this century,
mm-hmm.
And I mean, it put him. I think he would be a top 3. I think
his statistics have been. They've been stunted by the playoffs, and I'm not complaining. Well, I'm complaining a little bit, but it is what it is. He didn't execute, I guess, when he should have. But it's something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough, and I feel like I would be doing him a disjustice as his fan if I don't say that, even though he doesn't really. He's kind of hinted at it before. But anyway, other than that, what you got, Seth?
Where are we at? Oh, or is it time to talk about? No, we already talked about the. Where are we at now? I'm so confused because we just got on that 15-minute conversation about Kevin.
I kind of. That's it. That's all I had.
Yeah, I felt like that was pretty much it.
Yep. Oh, there's this. Can we talk about Dale Jr.? Dude, he is the best commentator in the sport.
Oh, we got a caution.
Okay, yeah. Darian said it best. Dale Jr. never fails to scare the shit out of you at least once a race. Um, I was in the bathroom. I guess it was during the Xfinity race last week. And Sheldon Creed did this lazy spin, and I hear, "Oh, we got trouble on her!" And I literally jumped. And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like the big one just happened and it went, and I come out and Sheldon Creed just spun. I'm like, Junior, God bless America, bro. But he did play by play this week. I've said it. I've said it. I've said it. I've said it. Junior had a fantastic career as a driver, a Hall of Fame career as a driver. He will be known more for his commentary than he will his driving career. Not taking anything away from his driving career, he's just that damn good.
Dale has this innate ability to get everybody watching excited.
Yes.
Just not even when he's yelling, which he does yell a lot. You could maybe tone that down a little bit.
But it's passion, dude.
It's passion.
It's not yelling for yelling.
Yeah. Well, even when he's not yelling, you get the sense. Like, I want to reiterate that. You get the sense that Dale loves.
Yeah.
What do you know? Let's go.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that was. Anyway, you get the sense that Dale loves NASCAR.
Yeah. I mean, sorry.
You got to get him in the booth for the Daytona 500 at some point.
Oh my God, yeah. Sorry, I had to take a picture for Snapchat. Anyway, yeah, dude, Junior for the 500. Oh my God, NBC needs the 500. Dale Jr. would be fantastic.
Or just have Fox bring him in. But yeah, they need
to Fox bring him in. But anyway, back to my point. Yeah, I mean, his just passion for the sport drives him, and he's becoming a better analyst. And I think, honestly, you could say what you want to say about Rick Allen. I have a little bit of bias towards Rick Allen just because I've met the guy, literally the nicest dude in the world. Rick Allen is just you can't meet a sweeter guy. But I would love to see Dale Jr. in this role full time. I mean, he's good at it. He is a relatable person. He knows how to relate to the fans and knows how to paint the picture and bridge the gap between the fans and the teams and the drivers. He has experience as a driver, experience as a team owner. He is a fan of the sport and always has been. He's been in the highs, he's been in the lows of the sport. He's the perfect guy to be in the booth, and he does it so well.
I don't know if I'd love to see Dale be play-by-play full time. My only thing is I don't know, Dale. I feel like your play-by-play guy kind of has to stick out a little bit, and while Dale sticks out in a passion sense, and not that the other guys in the NBC booth aren't passionate, Dale talks with that passion like that, and it sounds more like a color commentator when I hear it.
I think, I get what you're saying. I think that could be groomed, and there could be a good mixture the more he does it. I mean, he hasn't really done it that much. I think this was by far his best play-by-play. I really didn't care for his play-by-play the past couple times he's done it, but this one it blew it away.
I think he's definitely gone to school on it, because I remember the last time he did it, he had him on the Dale Jr. download, like critiquing himself, and so I think he's definitely gone to school on it, and I definitely think Dale will get better at it. I love him as a color commentator, and essentially that might be why
he needs to be on every race.
Well, and that might be also maybe part of it that I didn't love is that he was kind of doing both. He was kind of doing play-by-play and color commentary, which is fine. Maybe what he was doing. Maybe that's the direction we need to go. Maybe that would be great. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think NASCAR, when they do the new TV deal, I would love for it to be just one singular entity doing the broadcast, and Dale Jr. has to be a absolute significant role in
Here's my dream booth at
who
the
that
moment.
is.
My dream booth at the moment is Alan Bestwick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Larry McReynolds. I
Oh
feel
my
like that would be
God. I
perfect,
just
dude.
fucking screamed without the S right there. Oh my God.
Like, wouldn't that be fantastic?
I gotta calm myself down with a sip of the Bush Big One real quick.
If one day we're not sponsored by Bush, I don't.
I'm sponsored, or I'm not sponsored. I am representing 3 different Anheuser-Busch products. I have a Busch Light Big One right here. I'm wearing a Kenny Schrader Budweiser shirt, and then I'm wearing the world famous Harvick beer hat.
Yeah.
So
I heard the Harvick beer tasted pretty much like Bush. It was kind of like a ripoff, right?
yeah, it definitely tasted like Busch Diesel. Did you try Harvick Light though?
I have
Harvick
not
Light,
tried
top
Harvick
tier,
Light.
top tier. Dude, I had Busch Light and Mountain Dew today, like together. It was not bad. Together, yeah. Like I saw a TikTok and it was like Miller Lite and Sprite, and apparently that was really good. I thought the Mountain Dew and Busch Light was very good.
I'll have to give that a go then.
Yeah, Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola guy, thumbs up for that one. Other than that, New Hampshire was fun. It was, like I said, like we both said, and I think everybody can agree, it was a fantastic race. And it's good to see. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come with the flat tracks. Put it on the bitching scale. Where are you putting it, Seth?
I'm going to put it at a New Hampshire without PJ1.
New Hampshire without PJ1. I'm going to put it at I'm going to put it at a I had some lobster mac and cheese the other night that was very good. So I'm going to put it there. I think that's where it's good.
Technically, there was a little PJ1 on the track Sunday, but
we don't have to talk about it. We don't have. Who's your sundress?
My sundress is Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace? That's a good one. My sundress is going to be Kyle Weatherman. He put it in a top 10 in the 34 car. Jesse Iwuji, if you're watching, you're definitely not watching. Fire yourself. And who's your dumbass?
3-way tie between the Cruise Chiefs of the 19, the 4, and the 5.
That's a solid pick. My dumbass is going to be Jesse Iwuji for not putting Kyle Weatherman in the 34 full time. Jesse Iwuji, if you're watching, fire yourself.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so let's do my favorite thing in this podcast. Let's review our picks from last week. Seth, go ahead.
I had Martin Truex Jr.
Oh, and who'd I pick? Kevin Harvick. And guess who got passed for 4th on the last lap by Martin Truex? Kevin Harvick. I fucking hate my life. I fucking hate this. It happens all the damn time. I'm winning, and then you pass my guy at the end. It is the biggest bullshit I've ever seen in my life. I hate this. I did fantasy NASCAR for a season, and I know I've worshipped this sport for 25 years. I know so much about this sport, and just I cannot do this. I cannot do like fantasy. I'm terrible at it. I hate this.
Well,
You have 36 points. I have 25. That's where we're at right now.
Okay, so we're not that far apart.
But it's every week I get passed by like you like in the last second at the death.
What I couldn't believe
is so frustrating.
I couldn't believe I picked Truex and then he wins the freaking pole. I'm like, oh, well, yeah. Okay. Like he's definitely not going to win the race, but like, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, where are we going next week?
We are going to Pocono.
Oh fuck! I have no clue who's gonna win Pocono.
Well, I know who I want to pick, but I've already picked him.
Who you gonna pick?
Fuck, I don't know. Kyle Busch.
Fuck! God damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Son of a bitch! I was like, there's no way he's going to pick Kyle Busch. That's a good pick. I'm going to pick Kyle Busch. God damn it.
Oh, my God.
Shit. Um, I don't even know who the fuck I picked. Um,
If you say it, I think I can tell you if you have or not. Because
I'm looking.
my first thought was, and I know you picked him too. So my
Have
first
I
thought.
picked Chase Elliott yet? I picked Chase Elliott at somewhere. I think.
Where?
I don't
when
know.
he won.
No, what? Of course it wasn't when he won.
What was the other race he finished second at? Oh yeah, I picked him there.
Yeah, exactly. It was Road America. God bless. Fucking Hail Mary Chase Elliott. I don't fucking know, dude.
I thought you said you picked Chase Elliott.
I don't think I have. I probably have.
Why don't you pick Denny Hamlin?
Because I like Denny Hamlin. I don't want him to
what?
do bad. I don't like
Denny Hamlin. What? Okay.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll pick Chase Elliott.
All right. I can't wait to find out you've already picked Chase Elliott.
Yeah, well.
No, wait. You might not have.
I don't think I have. Yeah, I think I've only picked him once this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I pick him at Sonoma? No, I picked Alex Bowman at Sonoma. Yeah, Chase Elliott's my guy. Let's go, Chase. Bring it home for me, buddy.
I mean,
son of a bitch.
Run everyone over getting there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll be fine with it this week.
What a great move by Chase Elliott. That's just how he drives. It's fantastic.
Dude, y'all are gonna hear me on this podcast next week after Chase wins. I'll be like, dude, man, y'all see when he wrecked Kevin Harvick? Fuck yeah, that was my favorite move of the race.
Oh yeah,
good hands move of the race right there. Look at my boy.
You would rather have 5 points than Kevin Harvick win the race.
No, I'd rather lose every race from here to fucking Phoenix if it means Kevin Harvick would win. I think that's been it. We're going to Pocono next week. I think this is the first time we've been to Pocono on the podcast.
Well, yeah. We went there one weekend last year, and it was before we started podcasting.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, you remember that weekend, Seth? It's a great weekend.
No, I don't. Not at all.
It was a fantastic weekend. I was big fan of that weekend. Yeah. Yeah, my two favorite drivers won, Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman. I can't believe you picked Kyle Busch. Fuck you. Fucking done.
All right, it's been the Big Motor Small Blade podcast. I've been Sundress. He's been dumbass. And we'll see y'all next time for the Pocono episode.